Hello, everybody. So I'm back providing content for you guys after a bit of a dry spell. Well, we got the midterm finished, and you had a chance to go back and improve your grades. If anyone has not heard back from me who has submitted a revised midterm, email me, let me know, and we'll get that fixed. We're winding down to the end of the semester as well. And hopefully, I know you are in the midst of working hard on your ocean spray presentations, all of you teams in both of my classes, the online class and the live class on Wednesdays. I would just underline to you to take a look at the content section of Blackboard for both classes. Look at the whole folder for ocean spray. You'll see the effective presentation logic flow. Please look at that in some detail, and please use that outline for your presentations unless you have a better idea. As I always say, it's not a mandatory, it's a suggestion. And you'll find some other content in there about idea sessions if you haven't done one yet, about how to run an effective idea session. There's also, from what I hear, it's sort of a flawed video of previous year's competition for the National Student Advertising Competition. It's not Ocean Spray, it's another one. But if you go to YouTube and do a search for National Student Advertising Competition, Ocean Spray, you probably will find something, maybe even the winner by now. And you can see what the winning team did in terms of content. I don't want you to emulate the presentation style because, as I've said a number of times, the custom for that competition is for each team to literally memorize everything they say, which I think is very stiff, and it leads, in many cases that I've observed because I'm involved in the judging for the Eastern region every year, a student will forget his or her lines and be stumped, and anyway, and it's just not an effective way to present. But for the content and the way they do things and the outline and organization, it could be good for you to look at that. So, all right, so what we've got to do to finish in terms of content is talk about two very, very important subjects on the list of media types, and that is interactive media and mobile within that. And I have lectures on that, and we're going to get into that. I'm going to record all that right now, post it on Blackboard for both classes. So we're going to start with interactive marketing, and our agenda is a bit of history and background for interactive, types of interactive, creating ads, trends, and then strengths and weaknesses. So we're going to go back to start with the CPM comparison, just to remind you of where online falls in all that. Those of you in my online class had a question on this in your midterm because we did get to this content, the traditional media content, before your midterm. And those of you in the live class, by now you have also seen this because we have gone through all the live media. So it's a bit of a repeat, but it's important. So you see in the sort of green section there in the middle of the chart where video, mobile, general display, and premium display fit in terms of CPM. You'll see the dollars for cost per 1,000 impressions on the left. And you'll see that video is about equal to radio. You'll see mobile CPMs are the lowest. General display, also very low. General display means banner advertising, everybody, right? That's just a static image. And then you've got premium display, actually the highest CPM, a little higher than video. And premium display is called rich media is another way it's described. It's static. Well, it's not a static ad. It's an ad with animation in it, something that moves, that creates, that has movement, that draws your eye, and is therefore a better impression than a static banner. So that's more expensive too. So you see where this is. The better impressions, the video, the premium display have higher CPMs, not surprisingly. And the overall low CPMs are traced to some degree to the fact that a lot of online deals are not based on CPM. They're based on results. They're based on cost per click, cost per transaction, cost per sale, those kinds of things, right? Because as we all know, online media, interactive media are do the best job of tracking results. No other media type comes close to it. So you can pay based on results. So history of the internet. So the first banner ad aired on Wired Magazine's website, 1994. 16 million users using the World Wide Web, the information superhighway, as it was called, in 95. In 98, Yahoo launches. In 2000, Google AdWords launches. In 2002, you can see it's way up. Facebook and YouTube launch. Twitter launches 2006. And this goes up to 2015 with 287 million people using the internet regularly in the U.S. And when we look at the whole world, because we do have to recognize that these days, and certainly for your careers going forward, international will be increasingly important. Many of you are going to be lucky enough to work probably abroad and outside of this country. So we need to look at the whole world. And so you've got 4 billion plus. So you see the millions of users on the left side. And here we have people active on the internet, over 4 billion. How many unique, that means individual mobile internet users. How many people? It's almost 4 billion. And this is as of October 2018, so it's pretty recent, and it's from Statista. And then you've got active social media users, and you've got active mobile social media users. So you can see, we have lots of internet usage and also lots of people who are more and more doing things on their mobile devices. Number of websites, 65 million, 2005, and now it's well over 1 billion number of websites. By country, we've got number of users and what percent of the total population are using. So China's number 1 in terms of absolute number of unique users, but internet access is about 50%. So you can see where we stand here. U.S., the penetration is the greatest. Well, actually, no, in Japan it's the greatest. Sorry, folks. Anyway, you have a look at this chart and you get a sense for how different countries stand in terms of internet usage penetration. And this slide basically shows the companies that were like the leading companies at the beginning of the internet. And America Online was the number 1 game in town back in the late 90s, early 2000s. When I worked at 800 Flowers, 800 Flowers had, which was an early e-commerce player with 800flowers.com. There were annual negotiations with America Online about how much 1-800flowers.com would spend and what they would get for it. And 800 Flowers, as part of the deal, had to meaning show visual mention of America Online on all of its TV ads. I mean, that was just one thing. 800 Flowers had to not just give money, but do other things to get the kind of placement they wanted on America Online. Same with Yahoo. Excite was an early search engine that doesn't exist anymore. MySpace.com was right in there with Facebook as one of the first social sites. It was bought by the News Corporation, Rupert Murdoch, and it's pretty much disappeared. Ask Jeeves was another big browser. and that became Ask.com. It was bought by Barry Diller's company, um, which is actually located down by the Chelsea Piers. It's in a really cool building. Ask Jeeves doesn't really exist anymore. So I think one of the key takeaways about online companies is that the world can change very quickly. Although it is now being argued that because of the dominance of Google, Facebook, Amazon, that smaller companies might be having a harder time getting going. So there may be less change in the future than we've seen to date. This is advertising expenditures worldwide from 2013 to 2019 by type. And on the left side of the chart, you see this is in billions of dollars. Okay, so from 0 to 140 billion. And on the bottom, you see the years. And then the different lines are different types of internet advertising. You've got display advertising, you've got classified, and then you have paid search that people are obviously paying for. So you see the display. Search has grown a lot, and display and search are over 100 billion projected to be by 2019. Classified a little smaller. So here you see the very aggressive growth lines of both of these things. And the source for this, by the way, is Zenith Media, which is one of the biggest media planning and buying firms in the world. And this breaks down digital in terms of types of digital advertising by format. And this is the U.S. only, and it goes from 2014 to 2019. Obviously, it's projected for some of those years. So these are projections, and you see rich media growing quite a bit. Rich media, again, being banner advertising that moves. You see video growing quite a bit. And this is search spending, search marketing, so paid search spending. And again, it's projected for the future. So, and of course, Google's getting almost all of that. Speaking of which, this is now breaking out by company. This was done in 2016, so it's a few years out of date, but the principle holds true in terms of Facebook and Google basically having the lion's share of spending in display ads. And the years are in the different colors, so 2016, 17, 18, 19, from left to right. But the point being that Facebook and Google have most of the dollars. Now, by the way, that little straight line over on the right, IAC, it's the Interactive Advertising Company. That's the Barry Diller company that I referenced earlier, being in the beautiful Frank Gehry building across the West Side Highway from Chelsea Markets. He snapped up a few players, but they're kind of fading in terms of their importance. He had Ask Jeeves. I think at one point he had Travelocity, he had a dating website, he had a few kind of things like that. So now we're going to go and look at, in terms of audience size, some different players. Just let's give this a second here. Hopefully this will come up. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try to get to the top U.S. sites. This is tracked by Quantcast. Let's see what we get here. Rankings estimated November 16. Let's see. This link is